Hello and welcome to your October 4Thought. I'm Nathan. This is Lauren. Thanks for joining. Thanks for clicking. We spent some time thinking and writing about basically big change in the landscape in terms of interest rates over the last year and how that could be influencing investors to make decisions that might not be conducive with providing them the best outcomes over a longer period of time. That's what we're trying to do is provide value in this moment because we have lived through them before. We've seen higher rates earlier in our careers, and we've seen now for the last 10 plus years, almost zero rates. So there's just been this big shift and this big change in interest rates. And while, I think it may be satisfying to you to get a quote unquote risk-free rate at 5% or what have you, it's kind of like your diet, right? It's kind of like you're going to eat something and is this going to make me feel good now?
Yeah, short term, that sugar feels great.
And what might make you feel good right away is probably not going to make you feel good an hour from now, much less if you keep doing that over and over a longer period of time in your life. It's probably not great for you.
That's right.
This same kind of logic could be applied maybe to this, because you want to really make sure that you're not missing another opportunity that's going to really help you achieve those goals by just focusing on something short term that, while it might be a good solution for a short term need, isn't really going to produce the outcomes that you're desiring over a long period of time.
Yeah, just thinking about sugar. I mean, it's pumpkin spice latte season, so maybe that's part of it. But as we wrote about in the newsletter, and maybe we didn't give specific numbers, Nathan was talking about it earlier, that money markets have dramatically increased.
$1 trillion this year?
Yeah, I think it's 1 or 1.3 trillion. I don't remember the exact amount. And that definitely gave us a lot to think about. On the one hand, like Nathan said, it's great to finally get a tax return that includes the interest that you earned on your money market. You probably haven't gotten that for a long time, especially if you've had it in some bank accounts instead of high yield savings accounts. But even though that feels really good, and a lot of times when we do the financial plans for clients, the rate of return that they have to achieve is probably between 5 and 6%, which is where maybe some money markets or short-term treasuries are paying now. But what that isn't taking into consideration is that the inflation rate is also dramatically different than we had over the past 10 years. So built into our assumptions, which I think on a long-term historical average is probably correct, it's probably accurate. We had a spike in inflation. So 5.5% in a money market or a short-term treasury, you're probably still not outpacing inflation. And that's going to be, not to exaggerate, but that could theoretically be destructive to achieving the goals that you want to achieve in the future. So there was a lot of naysayers in the beginning of the year about what was going to happen with the stock market, a lot of concerns about recession. I think there were a lot of valid concerns. Maybe this isn't the time and place to go into the historical information that we have at our fingertips that we've lived through, but we know how a rapid rising interest rate environment can affect the economy. So with that being said, I think the market prevailed, very, very resilient, as Nathan said earlier, and that did beat inflation, at least so far this year. So I think what our concern is that maybe because of all that negative talk that happened, people may be sitting on more cash than they normally would. And maybe they're concerned, hey, could there be 2 more interest rate increases?
Yeah, and they feel good. They might feel good.
They're thinking about when's the ideal time to take that cash and apply it to their asset allocation that they know long-term is going to provide the nutrition, right? Sure. It's going to provide the healthy vitamins to get them where they want to go. So what we want to convey in this newsletter is, if you're in that position, or if you had a liquidity event and we're unaware of that, and you're concerned about what's the best place to put that excess cash, when's the best time to do it, we want to be a resource for you to have those conversations. So I think there's been a few times in our 20 plus year career, if you were with us in 2008, we kept you invested. if you're with us, right, more recently,
2020.
2020, we kept you invested. Now is one of those times where we want to get you invested. We want to make sure that you're taking excess cash. So short-term goals, emergency funds, you're in the right spot. Longer term, I think you need to really consider what's going to be in your best interest. How do we get you to help with that? And that's the message that we want. And of course, it's for you, but it's also for anybody that you're interacting with, your friends and family. They may be in a similar position. They may not have a trusted advisor in their lives. We'd love to help them as well. We're here for that. So I want to keep it short and sweet. I talked about it before. To me, Halloween's still a holiday.
Yep, my kids have been wanting to set up for quite a while, so I think they'll get their wish this weekend to decorate.
Yeah, and in my neighborhood, all the pumpkins came out on September 23rd. So this is the season, October, November, December, where you spend more time with friends and family and maybe an extended circle than you normally would. So we wish all the best for that. And again, in those conversations that you're having, if there's a concern that someone has and we can be of assistance, please feel free to reach out.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks again.
Talk to you soon.